It's the real reason why Meghan Markle has decided to abandon that burgeoning business of hers with jam, well, and all the other things, of course, that you can't remember. That apparently, she was so behind, so dedicated. And if you remember, her son, Prince Archie, famously said, "Mommy, you work too hard." Bit of a shock, of course, because nobody really understood exactly how hard she'd been working. And let's not forget, she had such dedicated fans for her As Ever With Love Meghan brand that apparently two people even got temporary tattoos as she surprised a room full of fans in New York upon the launch. But apparently, according to a source that has now exited that particular high caliber company, the reason why Meghan quit was simply this. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Lovely to see you. We'll have a nice wave. I thought I'd have a sit down for a minute. Yes, it's warm here today, so it's always good to share that with you. Hope it's warm wherever you are, or if it's chilly and you're in Australia, hope you're nice and snug and looking after yourself. And as I often say at this time of year, I know this Australia, it comes back around. And suddenly I'm hearing about your lovely days and barbecues on the beaches and stuff like that. But doesn't it turn around quickly? Yeah, you've noticed that. And by the way, thank you for your lovely comments regarding the Canadian flag that we were flying, of course, in respect for our wonderful monarch visiting your brilliant country. It's always nice to do that. And Canada House, I go past quite a lot, what a magnificent building. Don't know if you know that area also was the area where all the big shipping companies had their, like White Star and the Titanic and stuff like that. They were all down there, yeah. Incredible place. What history around there, eh? No history, of course, with Meghan Markle and her As Ever brand. If you remember, I just laugh at these sort of things that Meghan came up with. She claimed, didn't she, that, well, the problem that she had was she was waking up during the night in cold sweats because she was worried about the wrapping and the labels and all of this sort of stuff. We were just waking up in cold sweats wondering what she'd come up with next. Of course, the jam, if you remember, she was caught on video stirring these huge pots of jam in a kitchen, as if you're supposed to believe she's potting it up from there. I mean, it was just ridiculous marketing campaign. But Meghan likes to get out of everything, and as I've told you before, she does this very well on a regular basis. The thing that I found really interesting about it was the fact that she had to come up with an excuse. And this is, according to an ex-employee, As Ever allegedly her excuse. You see, she found it very lonely. Yes, lonely. Stop sniggering. Lonely, apparently, because she was doing it all herself. If you remember, she tried to recruit a CEO and that failed, and she, couldn't find anybody to meet her exacting standards. Not quite sure what they were. They got no idea what they were. Nobody knew what the job description was. And part of the thing is she wants to take her foot off the pressure of running such a high profile business. And the thing is, she just said, you see, that Harry wasn't involved in this. So everything had fallen down to her. And with her being a busy mom of two. Of course, she slipped up with that interview with Jamie Lena, or whatever she was, Kern Lima or whatever, I don't know. The one where they were speaking in those cartoon voices. And then she claimed, of course, and slipped up and said that she'd had a nanny almost for 5 years. In fact, she's got a couple of nannies, but, she fails to mention that. There are staff there. There's a lot of staff. Remember, there's 16 bathrooms, so don't expect to see Meghan on her hands and knees with a jar of Vim and a scrubbing cloth. That's not going to be her, right? So whatever story she's telling you is simply not true. And that apparently, according to her, is going to be the reason that will be officially put out to say that Meghan has had to step back because she's exhausted, literally trying to make this brand work. The true story is nobody was really interested, no backers came forward, no investors wanted to put any money in, and so for her, things have literally, fallen through. And that is the story of As Ever. But as ever, Meghan doesn't want to tell you the real truth. Neil Sean in the very heart of York.